anyone else fed up with Chris Clenshaw? Well, no, what do I mean by this? Well, a lot of people are getting very annoyed at Chris Clenshaw. He was supposed to step down at the end of February, and yes, I know soaps are filmed over periodical times, and it's just filmed like that, but he was supposed to step down at the 40th. Ben Wadey has just been sitting back on his deck chair, just like chilling, doing nothing, and Chris Clenshaw is out here like making bank. But yeah, people are just fed up from what I've heard. The word on the street told me, and now I'm just going to present it to my co-host, Mr. AquaDreams, as he knows more than I do. He keeps up with all the news. He subscribes to the newsletter. Continue.
He's struggling, but yeah, it's a big thing with Chris Clenshaw, right? He has had a very long and prosperous 2.5 to 3 years as executive producer, and yes, he stepped down with his swan song. That was the EastEnders 40th anniversary. And I'm sure Ben Wadey did take over in that time period. He probably has been having his input and starting to piece together what he wants as the show. But simply because soaps are filmed in advance, like, I don't even remember the rough guideline. Is it like 7 to 9 weeks, roughly?
Yep.
That's roughly the time frame. So theoretically, and obviously people being fed up, obviously Chris Clenshaw's leaving soon. I highly doubt there will still be Chris Clenshaw episodes at the end of, May? I think that will probably be, May will probably be the transition period, May or June. That will probably be when he fully steps down. And he probably has already stepped down, but when Ben Wadey's episodes actually get into production and his direction and what he wants to do, that is when we will finally get to see the end. But since the 40th anniversary, there has still been really strong and interesting episodes. Yes, but we are starting to wear the souls thin, right? It's kind of, it has continued. We've still got the Nigel's storyline progressing. We've got more for the new Mitchells. We have continued. We've started to have Kojo get some scenes. We've had this bigger Varney storyline. All still pretty interesting and important stuff. But still, at this point in time, I don't feel like it's a bad thing to suggest. I just want to see what Ben Wadey does now. I look, we've seen Chris Clenshaw. You did a great job. You re-established EastEnders. You pushed it towards a golden era. Whether you fully delivered on that potential is another topic aside. But you truly have reshaped EastEnders, and it's set to go further and further with a whole lot more attention than it probably did have 3 years ago. But now we're just waiting for the hangover. When does the hangover end? When does it end?
Part 3.
Like, do you know? I don't know. Like, do you think? What have you thought about EastEnders post the 40th anniversary?
It's this is it. This is going to separate the men from the boys. See, obviously we have a video coming out that's going to do the negatives and the positives of this. When I edit mine, that will be about 5 years from now. When I finish my script, will be another 10 years from now. But the problem is when you're doing transitional periods for soaps, is you want to continue the storylines because you don't want the next 6 months to be, George, you do know the sliced bread cost 50p more now than it did yesterday, and it's like, yeah, thanks, and that's all. You need to fill the content, but sometimes the content is, yes, I'm saying content, YouTube, not the other word. I'm saying content. But you need to fill the content like with something like for value. You can't just have them in the Queen Vic drinking pints and then that's your literal week done. They gotta have storylines, and they've delivered on most storylines. Like the Alfani stuff happened post 40th. The Cherie stuff with Teddy and Nicola delivered. Like, and Sonia's exit for the most part delivered, even though her exit was a bit like, oh, Bianca's
a bit easy.
Yeah, her exit is funny to me because Sonia's exit was literally, Bianca's done a podcast. Oh, who's this? It's Terry Kant. Who's Terry Kant? Sonia's dad, and oh, he's gone again. Oh, and now he's locked in a shed. That is ha funny.
The camera's out of focus.
Oh, is it? Oh, Jesus, sorry, I didn't even notice. That better?
Yeah, there we are.
But yeah, it's just they introduce like Terry. Terry, he doesn't really do much. He does a little bit. Rocky gets his flowers finally. It's just they've done some decent stuff, but it is time for the new executive producer to take over, in my eyes.
Yeah, it's also that weird, and because of the transitional period, you don't know what the next version of the show is gonna look like. So, do you give you don't know you don't know who's gonna get axed. You don't know who's not gonna be here in 6 months' time. So, like, do you invest in Felix, for example, who has finally gotten storylines at the end, but we know that's just because he was axed. We just know that's because he was axed. So, like, do you push forward these characters who haven't really done much, despite the fact that, like Chelsea, there's a pretty high chance that Chelsea's gone, let's be honest. That's speculation, but there's a very high chance that Chelsea's off again. There's a very high chance that Callum leaves. Do you want to put these characters to the forefront, knowing that they may not even be in the show in the next year? And it's supposed to be a really exciting time. But I think the weirdest bit about it, and this is purely from like the YouTube type side, they announce one bit of news and then nothing else. There's been so little soap news over the last month. It's ridiculous. It's so crazy. You can tell that it's bad because most of the news sites, they're just telling previews of what's going to happen. They've got nothing, guys. We got to do the big news. Oh, hey, Felix is leaving. Let's go. Onwards and upwards. It'll be like Coronation Street. They'll start flying out by the seams. No, there's no more news. There's no ideas. There's no chance of direction of where we're gonna go. It's as viewers who do kind of check spoilers and stuff, it is pretty important to know what is coming up, because at some point you do, especially if you're like not having as good of a time of the show, you do want to figure out what's coming next. Like, if you're like going spoiler to spoiler, you do want to know what happens next week, because maybe you're just saying, maybe I don't watch you next week. So I'm expecting an absolute wave of news to come out at some point soon. Because if not, it's just been really weird. It's not been like any takeover of an executive. Well, it has been very similar, but like it's very odd in how staggered it's all been. But like, and it's not even to kind of say that Chris Clenshaw's like final time has been bad, because it's still been good. I do think there's been a lot of stuff that's been under delivered on. Like, they're like, oh bloody hell, Ravi and Denise, it's not over. Well, it fucking is. It fucking is. They've not done anything. They've not done anything together on screen lately. Oh, where's Jack and Denise? We chose them. They're just not about. They're just, they're having a good time. They're just not about. And Cindy vanished as well. Like, it doesn't feel like the stories are. It doesn't feel like a lot of the stories are progressing. It feels like it's all in the waiting room, which isn't, unsurprisingly, isn't really a good place to be, because ultimately you want to be in there, getting the news. But yeah, it's kind of a weird. But like, and yeah, as Piggy said, there will be videos. Well, there may be videos. We have some scripts in progress about both the positives and the negatives of the Chris Clenshaw era of EastEnders, kind of more of like an opinion piece type video discussing, like as said before, the pros and the cons, what we liked, what we didn't like, both singular as well. Piggy's on the editing his. Let's go, if it ever gets there. And I say that for myself as well.
It's not a dig, it's a truth. That's the problem.
It's the truth of both of us.
But I will say, the problem with me being positive in the video is I've no problem being positive, because I have this weird mentality, and Ash just looks at me whenever I bring it up. But I obviously want to stand out from Ash, which is, if Ash is the grumpy granddad in the corner who's like going, everything's just too woke now, can we go back to the good old days when we could say all this stuff as a granddad candidate? I want to be the cool grandpa who gives you £5, tells you go to the shop, get some sweets for yourself, and all that, and I've my weird mustache and stuff.
That's never been me, by the way.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
you
He's never been that grinded who complains about the wokeness.
characterizing me awfully.
Yeah. But I gotta pick myself up. That's the problem. Just that's how I do it. But yeah, sorry. Ash's then just the contrary granddad in the corner, like complaining about the news. Because that's all he watches is the news. Not in reality. Ash does not watch the news in reality.
I mean, the main difference is we also have two different ways that we perceive soaps, really. Obviously, I'm kind of somewhat in the bigger picture, been watching them for years, bit more history, bit of A, bit of B. Whereas, Piggy's watched this recent era, and that's, it's a fucking long-standing member. But it is a different perspective, but it's a weird. It's kind of bizarre because obviously this one is done to rage bait as such. This video is obviously made to rage bait because there are going to be a lot of people talking about the block storytelling. It's ruining soap. The characters, they can't act. GCSE level acting in my soap opera. It's just the usual suspects. But it's only a matter of time before people are going to get antsy about this. Like, if I'm getting antsy about it, I'm like a slow moving bit of tumbleweed. Nothing's going to get in my path. But if I'm starting to like perk up and be like, fucking hell, guys, you're taking your time with this one. But if I were a normal Redditor, I'd say, yeah, well, we knew it was going to be bad because they said they were going to bring back Shirley, but they never did. I'm still waiting on Shirley. She's on a milk carton at this point. Doesn't feel like we're ever going to see her. Like back in 2022, when Lauren's return was announced, so was Shirley's. Where's she been? Where's Shirley? We miss her. We love her. One day she'll come home. One day she'll come back to us. Maybe Ben Wadey will be the one to finally dust off Linda Henry's contract. And maybe one day she'll be back.
It'll be
a very weird set of circumstances.
She's drifting out in and out of sleep for that one. My mind instantly just went to fucking Indiana Jones whenever he picks up something that has dust on it. It's just and just Jesus, Linda Henry, your contract got a bit dirty. Sorry there, mate. But she will be back. But this video was mostly about the rage bait. Yes, Ash did allude to. I think we've done our opinion pieces, and I've mainly said that to keep most of my opinions for the pros video, and Ash to talk about the negatives. I was going to say nons because I was pros, but I was like, that does not work. The nos.
Cons.
The cons, thank you. And we will let you know what we think, and we'll let you know if this script does actually happen. Who knows if I edit mine? Who knows if Ash will edit his? Who knows? We might flip and turn. I might edit his. He might edit mine. And we will see you in the next one. Bye bye. Bye bye.